How's it going, everyone, and welcome to my review on the Orion Battleship, as well as the Orion Battler. This is such a big thing here. This is the giant mech of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, and I think that it's the most expensive of the Kyuranger Voyagers that came out for Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. It costed me about $86 or so in order to get this, although on eBay I could have paid $100 for it. But I went with Amazon instead because it was a lot cheaper to get it from there. And it was also a lot quicker because apparently, I guess it just ships a lot quicker. Probably especially if I am buying from a seller that is in the United States instead of in Japan like I've done with most of the other Voyagers that I have gotten. But if it's in the United States, it's quite convenient, and it certainly arrives a lot faster that way. Alright, so story-wise for the Orion ship, the story here is that at some point the original Orion ship, I'm not quite sure what it's called compared to this one, the Orion Battler Ship. There was a point in the in Uchu Sentai Kyuranger where the original ship had sacrificed itself to destroy some sort of monster that was out in space, and it quickly teleported any Kyurangers that were on board that ship into Q-Tamazine to make sure that they were not taken along with the destruction of that ship. And all of the Kyurangers, well, there were 10 of them at that time because both Champ and Sho Rumpo were in the past because of an earlier episode that had occurred. And I will get into details about that in a moment. Well, actually right now. Now, there was an episode... Oh, by the way, there will be some spoilers for those that haven't seen Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, but I just wanted to advise that, just in case you haven't seen Kyuranger and are interested in checking it out at some point later on, and are interested in finding out the story for yourself. But just getting a word of warning that I am going to give somewhat of some spoilers regarding the backstory regarding the Orion Battleship. So anyway, there was an episode where some of the Kyurangers traveled back in time, and they had encountered Orion, or Orion. Well, it was pronounced Orion in Kyuranger, but in America it would be pronounced Orion. Kind of odd how Japan pronounces English words very differently from actual English-speaking people. But anyway, Orion was what it was pronounced in Kyuranger, and they encountered this man called Orion, who was originally supposed to make sure that the word of Kyuranger would carry out. But there was a point in which they battled against dark matter, or what they thought was dark matter. And during that battle, it was also the episode that marked the debut of Shishi Red Orion, or Orion, as some people would call it, if they primarily spoke English. And there was a point in that battle in which Orion, the character, was killed. And in order to be sure that the Kyuranger team would eventually come into existence, Sho Rumpo decided to stay in the past to be sure that the legacy of Kyuranger would carry out so that the Kyurangers could still exist in the present day, and Champ volunteered to stay behind with him. And at some point in the past, after they had taken care of everything that they needed to, or at least after Sho Rumpo took care of everything that he needed to, he went ahead and built the Orion Battler Ship, or at least he was able to obtain the Orion Battler Ship. I can't quite remember if he built it himself, or if the ship was already made. I'm sure that he either built it himself or had gotten started with it. And then, as soon as he was finished with it, he allowed Champ to put him into a frozen sleep so that way he could remain in a deep sleep and then be awakened in the present day to allow himself to return back to the present day, since he could not do it through time travel, just through sleeping for a very long time, which was quite a clever idea of him. So anyway, the Kyurangers were able to find the ship hidden underneath the ground, and the command room for the ship was identical to the old one, which was pretty good for all of the Kyurangers that were still sad that the original ship was destroyed. Before I go off into giving a lot more details regarding how the ship exactly works, this set does include two Kyutama. I almost said Kyukama. I don't know how that works. This is one of them. This is the All Kyuranger Voyager Kyutama. It looks a bit like the All Kyuranger Kyutama that was included with the Q wheel. What was it? I'm trying to remember it. I can't believe that I forgot it. I can't remember it. I can't believe that I've forgotten it already. But the wheel that they use to determine the Kyuranger teams. I know that I've said its name before, but I can't believe that I forgot it at this point in time. So I apologize. So anyway, it's quite similar to the Kyutama that was included in that set, the All Kyuranger Kyutama that was included in the... Oh wait, I remember now. It was the Qlet wheel that the All Kyuranger Kyutama was included in. That's it. And it has similar design. It has the same glittery stuff. Has the same SP on there, if you can see it. There you go. And it has the symbol of the Shishi Voyager and all of the different Voyagers. Camera, please focus. I don't know how well you can see it, but there it is. You can see all of the different constellations of the Kyurangers. And well, that's how that works. So, yeah, it's good to get another one of these to put on my shelf of extra Kyutama. And then the other one is this one right here. Yeah. This here is the Orion Kyutama. The name that I originally would have called the Psycho Kyutama, but no, the Psycho Kyutama is called the Psycho Kyutama. This is what is called the Orion Kyutama right here. This is the actual Kyutama for, I guess, Shishi Red. Well, not Shishi Red Orion, because that was what the Psycho Kyutama was for, but this is the Kyutama that attaches to this thing right here, and it is called the Orion Voyager. And I know that I haven't shown this off with the other Kyurangers, but if you put some light in front of there, you'll be able to see Shishi Red Orion, or however it's pronounced, in the cockpit right there. So that's pretty cool. So now to attach that back on. And I'll go into more details regarding this thing a bit later and tell you what that's all about. But for now, I want to show you the transformation for this thing right here. Alright, so this can become a mech. It is not just a command ship. It can form its own mech combination. And I am going to do that right now. No, I think it looks better down there. I don't know what the default way of getting this to work, or what that is. But anyway, for the Orion Battler, or Butler, as it is very commonly mispronounced or something, you fold those out, and great, it's now very sturdy. But you cannot even see the whole thing in the frame. I think I should go and fix that. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get it into the frame now. The thing here is that I have it on the HD recording. And the thing here is that it doesn't even show on the camera when it's not recording. So it's really hard to know when it's going to fit into the frame. I think it's going to be really hard for me to be able to get everything into the detail right there. Okay, so we then put this in right here. Fold this up, and fold that down, and then fold this down. And there you have the Orion Battler. I think I should take some zoom-ins right here, even if we aren't seeing the entire body. Do keep in mind that I'm using some sort of box to keep the camera up high enough, and you know, I would have to really get very far back, the camera to go very far back in order to get the whole thing to fit into frame. Now there are some wheels up right here which can be used for rolling this thing around when it is in ship mode. But anyway, and one more thing that I forgot to put on. There we go. The fires that come out of the top of his head. Okay, I'm pretty sure that there is some sort of, well, I suppose the button back here does some sounds for this ship. So let's try that. Yeah, I apologize if you can't really hear that very well, but the camera cannot pick up the sound waves all that well. But anyway, it doesn't look like there are any lights on this thing, much like with Kyuranger, so it's a bit unfortunate that you won't be able to see Shishi Red's image right there. So that's a bit unfortunate. But anyway, this is the Orion Battler. And how this thing works is that you get one arm right here, which does fold out. This also happens to be a separate piece that you can attach right there. The head is also a separate piece that can be removed. And the this section on the back is also a separate piece. I just thought that I would let you all know that. And so this is one arm which just folds out onto the ship, and then the Orion Voyager, it forms the other arm. And as you can see that it is an actual hand right there. Now, something that I did not really know about until finding some other review videos. I mean, most of the review videos that I have watched of this set did not show this, so I wasn't sure if it was possible. But I did manage to find a video that shows that it is very possible to actually use other Voyagers on this arm. And it just so happens that I do have all of the other arm/leg Voyagers right beside me because of another function that I will show off later. So I'm going to show you that it is possible to use other Voyagers as the arms right here. So here it is with the Sasori Voyager, although it looks very small in comparison. Let's try another one. Here's the Okami Voyager, which also looks a bit small in comparison, even though it is one of the much bulkier of the Voyagers. I'm not going to go through all of them, I just want to give a few examples. This is the last one that I will show for this video. And there's the Hibachigai Voyager, which is, well, probably a much better way of combining, but there you have it, right there. And real quickly, I am going to get Kyuranger, so hold on. So here is a little side-by-side comparison between the Orion Battler and Kyuranger, and you'll notice that I don't have a right arm for Kyuranger because I am going to see if I can get the Orion Voyager to attach to Kyuranger. I have not seen anybody else do this, so whether or not it works, I am going to find out for myself. And you may also be finding this out for yourself, because this could be the first time where anyone has ever made a video of someone trying to do this. So, will it work? Ding! Yes! The Orion Voyager can attach to Kyuranger, although it is really long looking right there. Although, when you have it down like that, when you have it, like, facing this way, it looks a lot more decent in comparison. But it's just amazing that it can do that. Now, it doesn't actually happen at any point in the show. There is no point in which the Orion Battler can combine with any of the other Voyagers that can become an arm or a leg. And there is no point in which you have Kyuranger using the Orion Voyager as an arm or a leg. I'm pretty sure that this can also, well, actually it does not rotate at all. So it only works as a right arm because it is meant to be the right arm of the Orion Battleship. So there aren't a lot of possible combinations that you can make with Kyuranger using this. Now here is Uteo with the Orion Voyager as an arm, and I also used the Tenbin Voyager as the other arm, so now it's a really goldy looking look, like a really purple and gold looking Voyager, or combination right there. And, you know, much like with Kyuranger, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. This was. Yeah, much like with Kyuranger, when you have it be facing downwards, it does not really work that way. So it's quite clear that the Orion Voyager was not meant to combine with either Kyuranger or Uteo, even though it is possible. But anyway, there is that right there. And for those wondering how it would look if it was used as a left arm instead of a right arm, it's not going to work because it's got this end right there and the Kyutama is not going to turn, so yeah, that is a huge restriction right there. Yeah, unfortunate. And Ryuteo is pretty much the same deal. I haven't tried it out, but I think that it is the same deal. As for a leg, let's see. Doesn't work out. Because you end up having Kyuranger just leaning this way. So, yeah. Doesn't work as a leg. Okay, so I got that right there. And I will show that off for a later function for this review video. Well, actually, I need the individual Voyagers to show off this next function. But, you know, I will take care of that. The Orion Battler looks very impressive in this sort of form right here, and it's certainly amazing how much bigger it is compared to the others. So, I would have to say that if you are wondering whether or not you should get the set, I would recommend it, because I think that it is worth the money to get such a set like this. And if you are watching this at the time that they finally adapt Kyuranger into Power Rangers, which at the time of the recording of this video, they have not done yet, if you are wondering if you should get this sort of set, like if you haven't gotten the Japanese version and you're wondering if you should get the American version, if it even exists by the time you're watching this, I'd say go for it, because it is very impressive to look at, and certainly has a lot of different functions, which I have not even shown all of them yet. So I will continue and get on with that. Now, here we are with another function that the Orion Battleship has, and it is a very interesting way to get the other Kyutamas, well, onto the different Voyagers. Oh. Yeah, I noticed that the camera was out of focus for a moment, and I apologize that that happens. But I've apologized for a number of different review videos. So anyway, there are 3 sections right here where you can put Voyagers onto, and the way that works is that you get a Q-Tama out, you put it right there, and you slide it on, just like that. Let me get another one. Yo, Kami, Q-Tama. Alright, come on. Okay, let me move this real slowly. Be sure I get it right. And, oh, hold on. Oh dear. Oh, that was what I was doing wrong. It was kind of facing the wrong way. Okay. Here's the Tenbin Q-Tama. And that's how that works. Now I will show you how all the others work out this sort of way, but I won't be commentating during that, because I pretty much am explaining the whole same thing. So I will just leave you in silence at the moment, and show you how all the other ones work out. That wasn't supposed to happen, by the way. And on a side note, when you put the Hibetsugai Voyager onto this thing, you do have to separate the snake head bits right there. You can't put it on in standard snake mode. Just thought I'd point that out. That wasn't supposed to happen. Alright, I do apologize if I am not able to get the whole thing into the picture right here. I will do my best, though, but do bear with me. It is very difficult to get the whole thing onto the set. Alright, so, this next combination, if it can even be called that, hold on, oh dear. I'm just looking at a sort of picture to try to get what I'm trying to show off next. But I think I have figured it out now. Alright, so I was trying to figure out how you do this, but you just rotate that up there. Why rotate it up there, you may ask? Well, it's because we want to get the Washi Voyager to sit on, well, on top. Right there. There we go. There's that. And we also want to get the Tenbin Voyager right here. And the Hibetsugai Voyager right there. That's pretty impressive. Alright, and next, Buteo here, Q Reno here, And ho-ho, Gingat ho-ho, right. Actually, hold on. I'm having to deal with this over a sort of slope. That right there is pretty much the closest thing to a combination that we are going to get right here. Of course, they're not all attached. It's just some sort of a formation where all of the big robots get together and they just do this, while the other three just sit down and basically do nothing. Or do they? Well, they just sit there anyway. So that is pretty impressive right there. Alright, once again, have to adjust where the camera is set to be sure that I get the whole thing on there. So anyway, I showed off, well, didn't really show off, but I pushed this button earlier to show you some different sounds that it makes. Now I'm going to show you some even more sounds that it can make. So, here we go.
Orion Ship. Orion voyager. 各機メンテナンス OK。発進準備完了です。Hey, the scramble. Hey, the docking. システムオールクリア。どうぞ。Ready?
Not the right cue. Yeah, I just thought I'd show the vinyl figures that I have as I go through these different voice clips. But it took a while for us to even get to even the first one. But now, here we go with the next couple of ones.
Take off! 各機メンテナンス OK システムオールクリアどうぞレディーシャンオキシボイジャー発進123おーテイクオフヘビスカイボイスシステムオールクリアどうぞレディー流れヘビ使いボイジャーさあ行こう
I am skipping over some parts because, you know, you just hear the same thing over and over again, so I'm skipping over to the unique stuff.
各機メンテナンス OK システムオールクリアどうぞレディーさあこれハミーカメレオンボイジャー行きまーすワーシーボイス各機メンテナンス OK システムオールクリアどうぞレディーラプターワスボイジャー発進します
Oh, and just in case you didn't realize it by now, that voice that you've been hearing, the girl voice, that is Raptor / Washi Pink that is saying all of that. But just to let you know, I have no idea what they are saying because, well, I do not speak Japanese, and unlike the Super Sentai DVDs that I have, the toy does not come with English subtitles, unfortunately. Oh well.
システムオールクリアどうぞレディースパーダカジキボイジャーグラッツェビーボイス各機メンテナンス OK システムオールクリアどうぞレディー小論破竜ボイジャー竜の道を進むクーマボイス各機メンテナンス OK システムオールクリアどうぞレディー佐久間小太郎クマボイジャー行ってきますテイクオフオリオンボイス各機メンテナンス OK 発進準備完了ですテイクスクランブルテイクザドッキング システムオールクリアどうぞレディー
Oh. Out of queue.
テイクオフシジーボイス各機メンテナンス OK 発進準備システムオールクリアどうぞレディーよっしゃラッキーシシボイジャー行くぜ
Well, yeah, and there's that, and it just loops around. So that there is the Orion Battleship and the Orion Battler, as well as the Orion Voyager right there. So, I do apologize if this took quite a long time in recording, as well as for your viewership, but I'm pretty sure that if you have watched set reviews on the Orion Battler before, you know that these sort of reviews do take quite a long time, because there is a lot of stuff to talk about. And I would like to also point out that when I was showing off the vinyl figures as the Kyurangers' voices were being said, I actually got this idea from another review video. I can't remember what review video it was, but I'm pretty sure some of you may have seen that one already, and I just thought that it would be cool to do the same thing when showing off this Voyager right here. It unfortunately does not mention the Ho-Ho Voyager for some reason, and we don't have Tsurugi's voice added onto the Orion Battler Ship. Now, of course, if you are watching this by the time the Power Rangers version of Kyuranger is brought out, which hopefully will be in 2021, at the time of the recording, it is December of 2018. It is the 23rd of December, a couple of days before Christmas. Though it could actually be out by the 24th, depending on how soon I decide to get into editing. But anyway, as I was saying, the Power Rangers version will probably also have all of the different Rangers voices. Of course, there'll be the Power Ranger voices, not the Kyuranger voices, but, you know, from the time period that this video is coming from, I do not know what those voices are going to sound like yet, because I do not even think that they have even decided on what actors will appear in such an adaptation, because there has not been any announcements that it's going to be adapted. Right now, we only have the announcement that we are going to get Power Rangers Beast Morphers, and that has not even started airing episodes yet, but Super Ninja Steel has already finished. Even the Christmas episode has already aired. So right now, we are just in between that gap between Super Ninja Steel and Beast Morphers, where we are just waiting for the new episodes to come out. So as I said, nothing has been announced about an adaptation of Kyuranger yet at the time of the recording of this video, but I just thought that I'd get that information out to future viewers who may be watching this after the Kyuranger adaptation has finally been made. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.